December 24th. William discusses more of the story. Why a fleet of ships? This brings me on to the point of matter transporters or teleporters, transportation machines, whatever you want to call them. They all do the same basic thing. Besides, none of them work in the way that anyone has hoped. They never got past the design stage, so you can never safely say that they have been invented. Basically, as I'm sure you're all aware, they are means of transporting a person, or, more preferably based on evidence, an object, from one point in space to another point in space. Now, there are many difficulties in achieving this. First, to operate one, you need to have a mathematical and scientific brain the size of whatever. It's big enough to be able to do all the calculations to get the starting point and the destination point. Why not use a computer? You need to program it first. Very difficult. Why not use computers to build programs, one step at a time? We're not there yet. Simple example. You want to go from somewhere like Earth to the star Alpha Centauri, 4 light years away. The speed limit of the universe. Maybe a bit far away, you think? Well, it proves a good example, especially when you begin to think about visiting planets the other end of the universe. Much further away. First of all, you need to be able to work out an exact starting point. Then, you need to work out a finishing point, depending on the position of the destination, and also distance. Sounds easy. Then, you need to take into account 2, if not 3, very important considerations. The first is this. Everything is moving. Planets revolve around stars. Stars revolve around galaxies. Galaxies revolve around universes. Who knows? Universes may even revolve around something much greater, and so on and so on. But at least the bigger you get, the slower everything gets, and, therefore, less for consideration. We hope. It's never been proved efficiently yet. So although you have a starting point, you need to know exactly where your destination point will be when you get there. Especially as everything is not just moving circularly, but in a wave-like fashion, up and down as well. Much more difficult. The second fact is that the universe is expanding. That means that the universe is getting even larger, that things within the universe are expanding within it. If distances are expanding, then so are the objects within them, if that is what is really happening. And that shouldn't present so much of a problem, should it? After all, the scales remain the same. But we need to calculate the rate at which they will grow, and that makes it all the more complicated. But then that third aspect. If we are travelling to Alpha Centauri from Earth, and if the speed limit is light speed, then that's going to take at least 4 years to get there. Maybe more. That's why all these distances and rates of growth apply. It's easier on a much smaller scale, of course. Next door is not going to move very much in the instant it will take to get there. But then, why would you want to transport to next door? So what else? Well, how do we actually transport people and things? There are 2 ways. Molecular transportation or converting the body into radio waves. Let's have a look at both of these. Firstly, molecular transportation. Demolecularizing a living being or creature, then sending all those molecules to another point where they will be put back together. But how will they be reconverted? Will they just automatically be reconverted? Will the machine at the starting point have to do it? Or will there be another machine at the destination point to do that? If there was another machine, at least it would help with the transportation by acting as a guidance beam. You've got to get one there first. You won't just be able to explore randomly. But if you're converting molecules, How do you push them to their destination? They will lose momentum. Maybe not in space, but certainly in atmospheres. Another look is needed at this. If they are losing momentum, why is this so? Simple. Air molecules are getting in the way. You need a force there to keep them moving without bouncing off of air molecules. This is extremely inefficient. There can be no force. The transported molecules are colliding with air molecules. Most, if not all, are going to get lost. Stopped, bounced away, or will react, creating newer molecules and not a part of the original being. An even simpler example. What if they come across another object, such as a wall? They will stop, resulting in a big mess on the wall. It cannot happen. Even if most did manage to get through, with large parts missing, the body could not function properly and would die long before the body, if living, had a chance to regenerate new cells to replace those missing molecules. Simpler. Imagine if the head molecules all got lost. The being would have no head. Dead. Radio transportation seems better. Both light and sound waves can be transformed into radio waves through whatever means. But that is because they are already waves in their own right. But what about physical cells and molecules? They would have to be examined, copied, and, using their natural vibrations, send off these digitally copied radio waves. They can now pass through any obstacle. Almost. Radio waves can pass through virtually any object. As we speak, millions of bits of information are flying through space, through radio waves, be that radioactivity or radio waves containing information such as music and news reports. The only thing that can distort them is static, caused by other waves and electricity. But these can always be reinforced. Signals can be strengthened and resent, and the rebuilding process can start only when all the bits of information have been sent, making sure of any inaccuracies caused by duplication. This is simple for an object. But what about for the living objects that may be transported? How quickly will it take for anything to rematerialize? Obviously, that depends on the size of the creature. But even in the smallest creature, just think how many cells or atoms there are. If you aren't rematerialized immediately, then those first cells formed would die, as without the rest of the body to support each cell, its energy reserves would dry up, and it would die before the rest of the body had a chance to form itself. If it takes any length of time to form, most of the cells would be dead, meaning that the creature would die on re-entry. Each cell would have to rematerialize simultaneously. But with that many cells in any living creature, how could one machine be able to sort out all that data? We then come on to another important aspect when dealing with living creatures. What actually makes up life? Is there a soul in the body? And if so, how would that be transported if no one really knows what it is? Even if you could, chances are that even if you could perfectly transport a creature, the DNA encoded in those cells would not be able to work without a soul, leaving you with a dead body on your hands. That's if there is a soul. But if not, then what makes us all unique? For instance, if you're all asked to walk so far and then stop, why would some walk until they can go as far as they can? Why would some only walk a few paces? Why would some hop and jump? Why would some walk faster than others? Why would some stop when they get bored? And why do these all have different boredom levels? Why would some pace themselves? Why would some enjoy it? Why would some hate it? Why all these possibilities? Obviously, some depend on age and athletic abilities, There are a number of different factors to consider. But then why are some more athletic than others, spending time exercising when others can't be bothered? Is there an answer? We are not all machines. We are all different, though not so noticeably on the outside. Why? Is it a soul? And then what makes up that soul? Is it something bizarre, like chaos theory? Is it our own DNA encoding, telling us what to be? Is it a conscious decision, or is it fate, destiny? Is there a God controlling everything that we do? What is this universe that we all live in? It is almost too scary to contemplate. I, like so many people, need answers, but the universe is too big. Too big! It's that big. How can there be answers? Is everything just random, or is there some massive physics equation waiting around somewhere to explain everything? What? Just what? Ignorance is bliss. Escapism is good. I must suspend my disbelief. But what is happening now? We have resorted to a technology that we know and trust, our own smooths, smaller craft that travel through space in the simplest way. They are being sent down to Earth to issue the humans with a warning. If they wish to talk, we will talk. If they wish to fight, we will fight. We are giving them an ultimatum and time in which to discuss this amongst themselves. Many are going down to many of the major cities on Earth. This should clarify matters that this is a serious warning. We will state who we are and our intentions. They will have until tomorrow to make up their minds what it is that they want to do. I guess that this is a test. If there is a simple way to get through to the humans, then this will confirm it. If not, then they will know the other options. Whatever happens, this is a day that will go down in the history books, being written as I speak. What concerns me is that this is more than just a test for humans. This is my ultimate test. If I get this right, then nothing more can be said. If I get this wrong, I will have fucked things up so badly. There may never be a way out of it. And I hope that this is not what people expect of me. I still have no idea what it is that I should be doing. There is no actual plan behind this. Events are moving along, and I am just being taken for the ride.